If this is a preview of how this park is going to be, I think I'm really going to enjoy it. Now once you get away from the lake and go under the trace and head back south on the main road here, is this primitive log cabin. There's a little bridge here that crosses over the creek. It's a pretty good sized boulders down there. Got one there. And back in the distance is like a man-made cascading waterfall. We'll go take a look at that in a little bit. Let's go take a look at this cabin. This is a primitive cabin. I believe that's what they called it on the map. It says warning, do not enter. That very cool, except for all the graffiti. I just don't understand it. Anyways. Pretty neat. Got a fireplace. It's actually pretty cool in here, like physically cool. It's probably 10-15 degrees cooler. I think it'd be pretty cool to stay the night in here, but I don't think they'll let us. Back here on the back side is a little artesian well. Got a sign, the Rushing family donated this, I guess you say cap or cover that people throw trash in. Well, that's pretty sorry. Anyways, so it looks like the water comes on the mountain somewhere in here and just trickles down the hill, down between those two rocks, and off to the left, kind of empties out into that stream. Pretty interesting area. If I had more time, you could sit here and just sit on one of these rocks and just relax all day. Go down here to the creek. It's this big massive rock. This thing's taller than I am. Water people throw trash. Come on, people. I gotta do better than this. I'm gonna throw that away. Sit right here and relax all day long. Listen to the water. But I don't have time to sit here and relax all day. I got other things to do, so let's go find them. Now upstream from that cabin, there's a little man-made cascading waterfall. It's got a little bridge that you can walk over. That takes you back upstream, back towards the cabin there. And on top of that waterfall is this lily pad filled pond or stream. Kind of peaceful out here with the water. Kind of looks like some beaver have been trying to dam this up. I don't think they're going to be successful. I think the state's going to keep on top of this, keep that water flowing. Go over here and walk on top of the bridge. There's like a new bridge. The waterfall is down below us. Even though it's man-made, it's still a waterfall. And look at that view there. Now, there's all sorts of hiking trails all around this park here on the south side of the Natchez Trace. Miles and miles of them wandering through the woods. I wish I had time to go do them today, but I don't. I think this fall we're going to come back, stay the weekend here with the family, maybe get us a cabin, and we'll do a couple of those hiking trails then. Ease on back down here towards the cabin on the other side of the river, or stream I should say. Got lots of big rocks out here. This is a treat for me. Where I live at, there's no rocks. The only rocks we have are the ones on the side of the highway, on the bridges. Nothing like this. This kind of reminds me of Anna Ruby Falls outside of Helen, Georgia there. Pretty peaceful back here. It's literally just 50 yards away from the road. So let's get in the car. And there's supposed to be a real waterfall back off in the woods on one of these hiking trails. Let's see if I can find where that waterfall is. That'd be 2 waterfalls we get to see on this trip here. Very beautiful state park. Probably the most beautiful one I've been to in Mississippi. Highly recommend this one so far. And there's also a nature center out here, but the sign says Nature Center Museum open most Saturdays 11 to 4. I missed it by a couple hours yesterday, so give me something to look forward to next time we come here. They got lots of lodges and cabins. I think that's one of the lodges there. There's picnic area, family campgrounds, all kinds of things out here. Definitely a place you want to do for probably about a full weekend. Get here on Friday afternoon, leave Sunday afternoon. Just enjoy your stay here. And they also have disc golf, and there's a pool over there, a little playground. I don't think the pool is open right now, still a little bit too early, just the middle of May. All kinds of things to do over that way. But the reason I'm over here is because of this right here. This is a swinging bridge. Constructed in 1939. These big, massive cables here, probably 1-inch cables. Constructed in 1939 by the Civil Conservation Corps, or the CCCs. No more than 5 people on the bridge at a time. Huh. Okay. 5 people. Well, there's not but 3 cars out here, counting mine, so I don't think we're going to break the limit today. Now, I believe the CCC was a way to get people back to work after the World War, if I'm not mistaken. Anyways, it has a little bit of creak to it, and a little bit of bounce. Not too bad. I just hope it don't start swinging on me, because it's pretty good ways down. Not sure what river that is. when I find out, I'll put it at the bottom of the screen here. I didn't do my research. Looks like a little bit of rapids down that way. Nothing too bad, but still pretty cool. I'm guessing we're probably at least 40 foot, maybe 50 foot. Yeah, I'm gonna say 50 foot, easily 50 foot off the top of the water there. Now back in here is a lot of rocks. Like I said before, we were in the kind of the base of the Appalachian Mountains, if I'm not mistaken. You see the sign there. Let's see if you can read it or not. It says persons engaged in top rope climbing, rappelling, or bouldering must secure a permit and helmets are required. Well, I am not going to be doing the rock climbing today. I would love to try it at least, but today's not going to be that day. Interesting little set of stairs here. So this trail splits, goes back that way, it kind of turns around that way. It's basically two loops. This one right here follows the river, and this one kind of follows the river, but just further into the woods. So I'm gonna go further into the woods. I got about 2 hours to spare. Shouldn't get lost, it's pretty easy. But I'm looking for some big rocks. I want to see these rocks that these people are climbing on and climbing over and around and all that other good stuff. So I'm going to follow this trail here. Not sure what the trail is, but it is yellow blazed. So if I just follow the yellow blazes, I should be okay, right? Worst comes to worst, I'll just turn around and come back the way I came from. But follow this little trail here. Quiet out here. There's not too many people out here today, and I might get some wildlife. This trail doesn't have rocks like the other camping spot we went to earlier did. It's just natural ground here, so I could sneak up on some, maybe a deer or something like that. We'll see. Now, not too far away from the swinging bridge is the first big outcropping of rocks that we come to. Pretty substantial rock facing, if you ask me. Like I said before, we don't have rocks like this where I'm from. It's got a red blaze. But the trail heads back off that way. That's the one we're going to follow around. I think the red blaze is the one you might need a permit for. I'm not sure. I'm just going to go right here on top of this rock. See if I can get a better shot of these other rocks here for you. I'm not really rappelling, so I guess I don't need a helmet. Yeah, this ain't too bad at all. There we go. I'm gonna climb up there, maybe to the top. I'm gonna go where I feel safe to. I'm not gonna do nothing stupid, but I'm gonna get up there and show you the view from up top, or as far as I go. All right, so I made it up that climb there. That's not rappelling or anything like that. That's just straight climbing up. Wasn't too bad at all. A little strenuous. But make sure you get some good shoes. Definitely don't want to do that in flip-flops or some old wore out street shoes. I'm wearing the Adidas Terex. I think it's 2 or 3. They got some really, really good cleats on them. Really stiff. Good traction with them. Pretty impressed with them. But anyways, take a step down here. You can see what I just kind of climbed up. These rocks are a little bit slick because of the dew this morning, but it's kind of my path. I travel right down that way. I'm gonna go back down there and continue on that yellow trail to my next destination. I haven't seen this many rocks since we were at Rock City about a year ago. Rocks and a nice little trip through the woods. Got a nice stream flowing. Throw some water on the face, cool it off. But this right back here is why I came back here. Here's another one with a few Mississippi waterfalls. Now this is pretty cool. You can actually walk right up to this one as it falls off the side of the cliff here. It's about 8-9 foot at the most. Whew. Yeah, that's getting cold. Feels good in the forehead too. Good way to cool off right there. I'm gonna sit here for a little bit, relax for a second, just listen to the waterfall. Now just off to the right hand side of those waterfalls is a trail with some steps made into it here. It takes you up to the top of the waterfall, so you can get a little better look at it from that perspective. And there's more rocks and rock facings. This has got to be probably the prettiest state park in Mississippi. I mean, look at the rocks over there. It's absolutely amazing to me. Let's get over here and take a look. You can see where it kind of trickles down and drops off the falls there. I could spend all day just climbing around the rocks and trails. I'm gonna go up here to the top piece right here real quick and see what's up this way. This is that stream that feeds the waterfall. Comes through here. Kind of trickles down over these rocks. And just the other side of that bush right there is the waterfall. You can still hear it. Nice and peaceful back here. Nice and peaceful. Now I'm standing on top of one of these rock facings. This is probably one of the ones that they use to rappel down and that sort of thing. Not going to do that. But off through the woods there, sounds like those kind of those little rapids on that creek we saw earlier. But this rock facing to the bottom and down there is probably at least 50 foot, if not better. Pretty much at the pinnacle of this outcropping. Definitely pretty interesting. This trail's nice and shaded. This is still the yellow trail. And it's still got the blazes and everything, so it's a very well marked out trail. But still, you don't want to do this in flip-flops or some junky street shoes, that sort of thing. Look at this section right here. Like I said, these sections fell off at one point, or maybe, I don't know. Yep, that's definitely where I could see them rappelling down. I don't know about falling down a rock. This doesn't seem too thrilling to me. But I wouldn't mind climbing up rocks, just not ones straight up and down like this one is. Yeah, that's at least a 50-foot fall. That'd ruin your day. That's why they need permits and helmets. I'm going to continue on this trail. Head back towards that little stream back there. And see what else we can find along the way. One of my other videos, when I was in that Choctaw Council or Choctaw Village or Chickasaw Village, I forgot which one it was, the one outside Tupelo, that nature trail, we talked about these trees that are bent like this with the legend that they're Indian way markings. Indians were here about 500 years ago, 600 years ago, at the last point around about. Now, do you really think that tree is 500 to 600 years old? I'm just guessing now. That's why I don't understand, or why I don't know how true that is about the trees that have that crook in it like that is Indian compasses or direction finders, things like that. In order for that to be an Indian tree, it would have to be at least 500 years old, at least. I don't see that tree being 500 years old. But I'm not an arborist or historian, so that's just my personal opinion. You take it or leave it. But heading on around the trail here. I'm getting closer and closer to those rapids in the river I can hear, so keep on going. Y'all look at that pine tree right there in front of us. It's at least 18 inches, if not more, from side to side. It's a big old pine tree. Till you look at that one right there next to it. I bet you it's every bit of 30 inches across. That is a massive, massive tree. And here's another little smaller waterfall coming off the side of this rock facing. The trail crosses over. Right that way there's a stream coming down through there. And this waterfall here trickles down into that stream as well. Water's good and cold. Go on your forehead and your neck and arms, cool you off a little bit. If you got a water filter, you could probably drink it. But I didn't bring my filter, so. Some outcropping. Almost like little shelters you could stay at. I think it'd be neat to stay in here overnight. Maybe some Indians did at one point. I don't know, because look at here. There's no one of those trees that are bent. Maybe an Indian says, hey, come this way. Stay here. I don't know. That tree doesn't look too old. I don't know. But to continue on the trail, let's see what else we can get into. Because you know what they say, curiosity killed the cat. Well, I'm not a cat, so just curious. As I'm hiking along, I started thinking to myself, sure brought my hiking poles. A good place to use them. Holy cow. Look at that rock cropping. That's crazy. How it overhangs the trail. That is nuts. Get another side here where the sun's not blaring us out. There we go. Look at that. It's amazing. Just absolutely amazing. Y'all, like I said, this is probably the first place in Mississippi that has rocks like this that I've ever seen. I'm from the Gulf Coast, so we don't get rocks. Nothing anywhere near this. That's probably at least a good 40 foot up, if not more, just sitting there. Gravity holding it on. Wow. Just wow. Now all that water that we've seen this afternoon comes out of the hillside, trickles down, funnels into this one little point right here, and off into that large stream that we crossed over with the swinging bridge, which is just downstream that way. This is those little bit of, I guess you call them rapids, turbulence. You saw when we first crossed that swinging bridge. Got a little turtle out there hanging out, working on his tan. It's a little, like a little beach area here. I don't know if I would want to go swimming out here, but you could probably sit on one of these rocks and hang your feet off over the water, cool them off if you wanted to. Interesting how many little springs are coming off the side of the hill here, filling this creek up more and more and more. Well, I'm just about back to the swinging bridge here, just in front of me. It's going to conclude my trip to Tishomingo State Park. Hope y'all enjoyed my little video here, my camping and hiking expeditions. Hopefully we'll be back here in the fall. It's a really good time here. Wish I could spend more time here. Lots of places to see and do. Things to see, that sort of thing. But tomorrow's another day. Gotta get back on the road and head to the house. Got about a 5.5 hour, 6 hour drive home. As we take a look here underneath the swinging bridge. It's just held up by cables. Quite interesting. But anyways, appreciate y'all watching. We'll see you next time.